Hey guys, it's Eddie the Magic Monk. Welcome to another Bootstrap lesson. Today we're going to give you guys another few features to help you play around with Bootstrap a bit more and understand how to style the website to make it look the way you want with Bootstrap. So the first thing we want to look at is on the page right now, there is currently no emphasis on any particular element. So our top element doesn't look a lot bigger than the rest of the page. So that's the first thing we're going to change, is to make this a bit bigger. So we're going to change the About Me text a bit bigger. So let's go to where it says About Me, change from H3 to H1. Heading 1 is bigger than heading 3. I'm just going to retype the title to make it say About the Magic Monk, just to make it a little bit bigger. And you can see that it is a bit bigger now. But I still want it to be a lot bigger than the rest of the page, and I want the paragraph to be bigger as well. So then what I can do is I can change the word container fluid, the class container fluid, to another class called Jumbotron. And you can probably understand what this class means by just looking at the name, Jumbo. Jumbo means huge. So as soon as you switch to this class, if I save this and refresh the page, you can see that all the text in this container becomes a lot bigger. So if I refresh, look at how big it is. Now, there's one thing that I've got to fix, which is that it has now got a little bit of space between the two divs, between the About Jumbotron and the Hobbies container fluid. So that's because for the Jumbotron, we haven't set the margin. The margin is the space between this element and the element below it. So let's add that to our style. So let's just go dot Jumbotron, so the Jumbotron class. And what are we going to add in here? We're going to add in margin to the bottom margin is 0 pixels. Save that. Refresh the page. And you can see that the white space has now closed up, which is great. Okay, so that's one feature that I wanted to show you, how to make the text bigger. I also want to talk about how to make the buttons bigger. So if I move this YouTube thing to the top, so let's move this YouTube button. Actually, let's just copy it. All right, let's just copy it to the top. Put it inside this space underneath the logo. Right, and if I save this, you can see that the Jumbotron, while it makes the text bigger, it doesn't make the button bigger. So to make the button bigger, you need to add another class, button, button, and you just look for SM is small, so we want button large. Okay, save that. And you will see that the button will look a lot bigger now. Go to YouTube. The next feature I want to talk about is the scroll spy. So what is scroll spy? That is, when I'm going down the page, there's no indication on the taskbar where I am on this page. So I'm going down, but it doesn't tell me where I am on the structure of the page. So what I need to do is I need to add in a feature called scroll spy or data spy. So basically it's saying that we want to spy on where we are on this page, the coordinates on this page inside the body section. So let's go to the start of the body tag and let's add in an attribute called data spy equals quotation mark scroll. So what is this data spy? Why is it called data? Basically, we are saying that we want to add one more piece of information to the body tag for the Bootstrap framework, to use. So the extra piece of information, the value is called scroll, okay, and the property is called spy. So scroll equals spy. Spy equals scroll. So what are we spying on? We're spying on how much we have scrolled. And where is this scrolling information going to? Well, it's going to the target, which is the navbar class. Make sure you put a dot there. So if I save this and if I refresh the page, you can see that as I'm going down the page, it now shows a little bit of a hop, but it's not very obvious. Okay, it sort of skips a middle bit. It's not obvious enough. So I'm going to add in a bit more data to the page just by changing a bit of text. So I'm just going to copy and paste a lot of stuff. So I'll just skip the video, pause the video on this bit. Okay, so I've basically just copy and pasted a whole bunch of stuff to make the page a little bit bigger. And now let's look at the scroll spy. So if I scroll down, you can see that it gets a bit more obvious that it's tracking the page. Okay, but notice that it's sort of, when I go to my hobbies, when the red section hits the top, that's when it goes to my hobbies. Now I want it to sort of start there a little bit earlier. So then I add in another attribute, another data attribute. Can't spell attribute. Data attribute, sorry, not data attribute. Data offset. And that is how many pixels I want to offset from the top so that the button changes over. So I'm just going to put in 50 pixels and you guys should be able to see the effects. So if I refresh the page, it's going to switch over to my hobbies when the red bit is 50 pixels from the top. Okay, so it changes over to my hobbies. And then my YouTube is the last bit because obviously we've hit the bottom. So I'm just going to make the bottom bit a lot bigger so you can see when it switches to the bottom. So if I refresh the page, okay, so it's got changes over to my hobbies when the red section's 50 pixels from the top. Yes, changes over. And then when the black section's 50. Anyway, you guys get the idea about the data offset attribute. So these are the three things you need to add to track where you are on this page on the scroll bar. Alright, well that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.